So for me, inclusion is that, but inclusion, one of the things about it is that it, like, if you're being intentional about it, it's building community. And something that you have done that I think is absolutely fantastic, even though it must be immensely exhausting, but so rewarding at the same time, is you last year started I'll just call it a J. Elliott exclusive initiative, to create this environment, this community, this celebratory atmosphere where individuals could come together in your community, which is Charlottesville, and you decided to call this Out and About. And you went to a variety of you're hosting events, you're attending events that other people are having, but specifically creating community and giving people an opportunity. How did Out and About come to you? Like, what was that about? And then, what has been the return on investment for you? Because I know that this is a huge amount of your time, right? It's a huge amount of your energy, right? Your battery has to be recharged sometime. So, what's the return on investment for you? So the why behind it, and then what's the ROI?
Yep. So I'll kind of like back it up a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, in one of our other discussions, I moved here to Charlottesville, Virginia when I graduated from TCC and enrolled to get my degree in psychology at the University of Virginia. Okay. I from here go anywhere, especially UVA. Come on, we're great here. So that's my academic plug. No, so I knew as soon as I came here that there was a community that I needed. And as I realized how much I needed this community, and as we did that growing that we talked about in another discussion too, I realized this community needed me too. And so I've been here for 13 years now, which is insane. But it's been 13 years of going to events and meeting people in the community and trying new things and finding my favorite little spots to be at. And, when I truly came out and when I started to really look for that LGBTQ element, I could find pieces of it, but it was very different in Charlottesville than it can be in a lot of other places.
Right.
So it's been a unique journey of 13 years of being part of the LGBTQ plus community, but being afforded the opportunity to travel around the Commonwealth and around the country as an entertainer and seeing what other people have. And when I finally became, I will say, secure with who I am, and when I finally found a footing for me that I felt like I do actually have something to contribute, one of the areas that I settled in was sexual health education and HIV prevention. And my dream area that I kind of set to the side was building an LGBTQ plus network and community. And so, especially coming out of the pandemic, we had gone for a couple of years and not really had the opportunity to connect with anyone, let alone with other queer people in the area. And so when I started hanging out with my friends, I paid attention to what is important to people when they're coming out of this lockdown. What's important to people as they're growing into themselves? What's important to people as they're getting in a relationship or leaving a relationship, or what matters to people? And what identified is that every time I hung out with a friend of mine, or every time that someone new came to town and we met up to grab a cocktail, or to grab dinner, or to just be a resource, when people needed help, I hear people say, and I wish I wasn't the only gay person who blank. Or, wait a minute, there's another queer couple that enjoys blank. Or, what makes me feel like I don't belong is that all the other gay people that I know, or all the other queer people that I've ever met, they really like blank. And I've never met anybody who really enjoys blank.
Right.
And so when I kept hearing this over and over, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm hearing every person every time saying, if only I knew someone else, or I wish I wasn't the only one. And I'm like, but you're not. And yes, they're here. So I said, you know what? Like, I already have a full-time career in public health. I'm a communications manager and public information officer for a government public health agency.
Right.
I travel as a model and a speaker and an entertainer. And I also did like small scale community stuff around here too, working with pageant consulting and pageant coaching. I do all of that. And I'm like, I can't drop all of this, but if I can do something small, maybe that'll like start a fire.
Right.
So what I did was I just made a Google form and I sent it to first 4 people in my close network. And I was like, can you make sure there's no spelling errors on this? And just let them know kind of like what my idea was. And I said, I've got 13 years of favors, 13 years of investment, 13 years of experiences. Let's leverage all of that and give that back to the LGBTQ plus community. So last year, I founded Out and About. And that Google form that went to 4 people now has over 650 people on an email listserv. And every month I'm hosting with Out and About at least 3 socials that vary in day, time, type. Help people meet what we do every month is we get together at least 3 times this June. Like we're getting together 5 different times this month because got to up the ante a little bit in June. But we'll do everything from bowling nights to pickleball lessons, hiking, happy hours, theater nights or potlucks. We do it all. So this month, our events include a worship service. It includes a Sunday tea dance, which is a long-standing tradition in the LGBTQ community for a Sunday afternoon like party. We're going to the movies. We try to do it all because queer people can be everything else in addition to queer. And it's so important that we cross the age gap, that we cross the race and ethnicity gap, that we cross the hobby gap, that we cross the niches of our community to bring a queer Black woman into the same space as a mixed man who's trying to figure himself out in this queer spectrum. And when they can get together and bond because they both love D&D, I'm not making this up. Like that was one of the things that I saw. I'm like, this is freaking awesome. Like you may not have met each other otherwise, but in a place where we can just be is the place where we can be. And it's awesome. I could go on and on and on about Out and About. Like part of why Out and About is so special to me, it has felt almost like a diamond in my crown, my gay little crown or my tiara. This is something that I always hoped I would be strong enough to do one day. To be doing it, it is so exhausting and I'm so tired. But this to me is a stamp on my passport that says you have traveled to a new place in your journey, that you are secure with who you are, and you're doing something to help other people get there too. This is where I wanted to be when we talk about young Jay knowing that there was something bigger, something more. This is one of those things for me. I am secure enough finally to where I could proudly say, yes, I founded an organization that brings last year over 1,200 people together at 26 socials that also helped 24 local businesses stay open. This to me is, I find it really hard to brag on myself a lot. I am so freaking proud of Out and About. I will say it every time that I can. I'm really, really proud of Out and About, and I'm really proud of myself for making it here and for like sticking with it. Our second year is gearing up to be even bigger and more impactful than our first. And And it's just really important for the queer community to have this, but it's also really impactful, empowering, and life-changing for me to have been a part of it.
So awesome. Be proud, because it's something so incredibly amazing. Be proud of it and stop crying, because neither one of us can tolerate this anymore. Okay.
I put on waterproof mascara today, so I can cry all I want.
Well, I didn't prepare appropriately. Okay. Oh, all right.
You've known me since 2007. You should
I know. I
that
should have prepared. I should have, but no. I mean, all like they're really good tears though. Like they're fantastic tears. I feel like if you're gonna cry, that's a great thing to cry about, right? Like just like again, it's the journey, right? It's the process. It's the evolution of us as individuals, and like you said, like our confidence, our competence, and our comfortableness in our own skin and our ability to just be who we are. So congratulations. I mean, incredible work.